In this video, we'll be taking a look at 2 NFL games happening on September 15, 2024, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 4 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 2 NFL games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus Detroit Lions. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are set to travel to Detroit this Sunday, where they will face the Detroit Lions at Ford Field. This matchup marks the second game of the regular NFL season for both teams. Tampa Bay kicked off their season with an impressive 37-20 victory over the Washington Commanders, while Detroit secured a dramatic overtime win against the Los Angeles Rams, pulling out a 26-20 victory on Sunday Night Football in Week 1. In 2023, the Buccaneers claimed the National Football Conference South title, though admittedly, it wasn't a particularly competitive division that year. They took care of business in the first round of the playoffs, defeating the Philadelphia Eagles at home before traveling to face the Detroit Lions. Head coach Dan Campbell's Lions triumphed 31-23. But the game was a nail-biter, tied at 17 going into the fourth quarter. This season, I expect Tampa Bay to be competitive once again. They looked strong in their season opener, dominating Washington. Baker Mayfield, who has shown he can be an above-average quarterback when healthy and surrounded by the right talent, delivered an outstanding performance. He threw for 289 yards with 4 touchdowns and no interceptions, picking apart the Commanders' defense. While I have nothing negative to say about the Lions, it's worth noting they needed overtime to beat the Rams at home last weekend. Additionally, the Rams were missing key player Puka Nacua, who was sidelined for much of the game due to a knee injury. Although Detroit didn't play poorly, their performance was far from dominant. Now, they must face another playoff-caliber opponent in Tampa Bay. Despite Detroit being the stronger team overall, I believe the Buccaneers will keep this game within a 1-score margin. The Lions barely edged out the Rams in overtime, and the Bucs arguably have a stronger defense. However, Tampa Bay's running game remains a concern. They didn't do much to improve it during the offseason, which could become a problem if they take a lead in the second half. Detroit has shown they can mount furious comebacks, so I expect the Bucs to rely more on their passing attack as the game progresses. In last year's playoff matchup, Detroit was favored by 6 points and won by 8, suggesting the Lions can manage a close game when it matters. Detroit was lucky to escape Week 1 with a win, especially after their offense went quiet for much of the second half. However, their defense was solid, even though they allowed nearly 400 yards. They made key plays down the stretch and limited the Rams to just 20 points. Meanwhile, Tampa Bay's blowout win over Washington was a statement, though Detroit will certainly be a tougher challenge. Still, I think the Buccaneers can keep this game close, as I anticipate the Lions' offense to struggle at times, allowing Tampa Bay to hang around. While I'm optimistic about Detroit's potential this season, I'm hesitant to give Tampa Bay a full touchdown as an underdog. As a result, Detroit Lions to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Tampa Bay has a much stronger run defense compared to their past defense, especially after losing Carlton Davis, who is now coincidentally playing for the Lions. I expect Detroit to get their star receiver, Amon-Ra St. Brown, more involved in this game. When the Lions' running game inevitably hits a wall, they'll likely lean on playmakers like St. Brown and Jameson Williams. On the other side, the Buccaneers' rushing attack is underwhelming, which leads me to believe they'll have to rely heavily on the passing game in the second half. This shift in strategy should lead to more points being scored. If Detroit jumps out to a 2-score lead, they might ease up on defense, giving Tampa Bay enough room to cover the spread and hit the over. Overall, both teams are expected to air it out more than usual, and it wouldn't surprise me if Detroit scores 30-plus points while Tampa Bay does enough to push the game over the total. In Tampa Bay's season opener, a total of 57 points were scored. Additionally, the Buccaneers have seen the total go over in 4 of their last 5 road games. As for Detroit, the total has gone over in 9 of their last 13 games, and playing indoors at Ford Field often results in high-scoring affairs. With key injuries on the defensive side for Tampa Bay, Detroit should be able to capitalize and score over 30 points in this game. Therefore, over the projected total is our full game total pick. New York Jets versus Tennessee Titans. The New York Jets will head to Nashville, Tennessee, this Sunday afternoon to face the Tennessee Titans in a crucial conference matchup at Nissan Stadium during the second week of the NFL season. The Titans are aiming to bounce back from a tough loss against the Chicago Bears, where they faltered in their 2024 season opener on the road. Meanwhile, the San Francisco 49ers ruined Aaron Rodgers' much-anticipated return, defeating the Jets 32-19 in a Monday night game. Notably, in their last meeting, which took place in 2021 at MetLife Stadium, the Jets came out on top, securing a narrow 27-24 victory over the Titans. The Titans have struggled against the spread recently, managing just one win in their last 4 home games. Toward the end of the 2023 season, their against the spread performance worsened, as they pushed or lost 7 out of their final 10 games. This trend continued into Week 1 of 2024, where they were unable to cover the spread. Both teams ranked near the bottom of the NFL in key offensive metrics last year, but the Jets are expected to show significant improvement this season, largely due to the presence of a healthy Aaron Rodgers under center. On the other hand, Titans quarterback Will Levis struggled in his 2024 debut, throwing for only 127 yards and being intercepted twice. While Tennessee has won just once in their last 5 regular season games against the spread, the Jets hold a notable defensive advantage, finishing 3rd in the NFL last season in yards allowed per game at 292.3 compared to Tennessee's bottom half ranking. Despite a poor overall record, New York won 3 of their last 5 games to close out the 2023 campaign. Historically, the Titans have fared poorly in home openers, going 3-7 straight up and against the spread in their last 10. In Week 1, the Titans found success in their ground game, thanks to Tony Pollard's strong performance. This sets up an interesting matchup, as the Jets were run over by the 49ers rushing attack on Monday night. While Tennessee could easily be 1-0 right now, New York will be playing on a short week after a grueling trip to the West Coast. All signs point to a potential Titans cover, but confidence in Will Levis remains low, making this a tough call. The young quarterback's inability to close out the Week 1 game was partly to blame for their loss, and now he will have to face a Jets defense that is both angry and loaded with talent, especially in the secondary. While the 49ers are a top-tier team that served the Jets a reality check, Tennessee is not in the same league in terms of title contention. Aaron Rodgers, still carrying a chip on his shoulder, will likely be even more motivated after Monday night's disappointing performance. His veteran leadership will be the key difference in this contest. When considering the stats and trends, the Jets appear poised to cover the spread as road favorites against the Titans. So the New York Jets to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. 2 high-profile veteran quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers and Kirk Cousins, were returning from Achilles injuries in Week 1, and both struggled to find their rhythm. Rodgers, in particular, completed only 13 passes in his highly anticipated comeback, indicating that he may need more time to regain his pre-injury form. On the other side, Titans quarterback Will Levis, now in his 2nd year, is adjusting to a new offensive system under first-time head coach Brian Callahan, so growing pains are expected as he works through this transition. Tennessee's defense, however, delivered an impressive performance in Week 1, particularly against Caleb Williams, the highly touted first overall draft pick. They held him to just 93 yards in his professional debut. The Titans have bolstered their defense with key offseason acquisitions, including cornerbacks Algerius Sneed and Chidobe Awuzie, both of whom appear to be paying off early. Combined with pass rushing standout Harold Landry and all-pro defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons, the Titans' defense is one of the most underrated units in the NFL. Meanwhile, New York's defense showed vulnerability against the run as they were gashed by Jordan Mason last week. This opens the door for the Titans to lean heavily on Tony Pollard in their offensive game plan, which should help control the clock and limit the Jets' possessions. The Titans have gone under the point total in 2 of their last 3 games at Nissan Stadium, and their offense was limited to 17 points or fewer in 3 of their final 4 games of the 2023 season. Their Week 1 game also went under the point total, as they were held to 17 points by the Bears. Both Tennessee and New York had inefficient offenses last year, averaging fewer than 18 points per game and ranking near the bottom of the league in several offensive categories. Therefore, it's unlikely that either team will be able to score points in quick succession. The Jets, in particular, scored 10 points or fewer in 6 games last season, with only 3 teams averaging fewer points per game. Despite their offensive struggles, the Jets' defense was a bright spot in 2023, ranking 3rd in the NFL in yards allowed per game and finishing in the upper half of the league in points allowed. As a result, the Titans will likely face difficulty putting up a significant number of points on Sunday. All signs point toward a low-scoring affair in Tennessee, making under the projected total our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.